let's start the show, y'all. So Samantha, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick. Just your name, age, what do you do, and what is your relationship status? Go ahead.
Oh, awesome. Hi everyone. My name is Sam. I'm 25 years old. I'm based out here in San Francisco, California, and I currently work as a personal trainer and a digital content creator. My relationship status is I'm happily in a relationship right now. So
Nice.
yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for everybody tuning in. If anybody that's watching right now, and you know Samantha, drop a comment, say hi, say hi, so that way we know. And yeah, and then I guess we'll go right into it. Let's go to the very first question. All right. So as you guys know, if you guys been watching, I've been doing this since I started this last week. I have a little reaction videos I like to play that I see on the videos I see trending on social media. So I guess the very first question I'm gonna start off with is this video I saw on social media, and is this girl um, she's talking about that every single woman deserves a good man. So I'm gonna play the video real quick before we go into it.
Okay.
You guys get context of what she means, but so let me pull up the video real quick. I'm gonna share my screen, and you guys can see, and then we'll watch the video first. We can react to it, and then we'll just have a conversation about. And that's my question: is does every single woman deserve a good man? But I'll play the video first. So let me play the video. Give me 1 second. Portion of the screen. Let me just share it. All right. And there we go. Give me 1 second.
Oh, I love her. I follow her on TikTok too.
Okay, good. Oh, good. So I don't know. Yeah, so you know her. So I just happened to saw her trending. So I don't know her content, but this is the video that I saw that was trending on social media. All right, cool. All right. So I'm gonna play it for you guys. And then can you hear the audio? Can you hear the audio?
I can't hear anything right now.
All right, let me go back. Stop the share and do it one more time. Oh, there we go. All right.
That you want.
You hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna watch the video real quick, and then we're gonna react to it. All right.
Doesn't deserve you. Say it again. Sometimes the person that you want doesn't deserve you. Say it again. Sometimes the person that you want doesn't deserve you. Now my question is, why do we pick those people? What makes us pick the person that we know subconsciously doesn't deserve our love? Huh? I'm ready to fight myself. What past trauma? What? Which one of you motherfuckers made me like this? Huh? We go for the toxic boys because they're interesting and fun. Why? We don't want stability and true love? My therapist is definitely getting a call later tonight.
All right. All righty.
I love that.
All right. So that's the clip I saw. It was trending on social media, and I guess that's the question I'm going to ask you. And also I'm going to ask you that question, but also give you your thoughts. Also, based on what she said. So let me ask you, Sam. Do you think every single girl deserves a good man? Yes or no? And tell me why. And if you don't disagree, and if you say yes, tell me why. Then if you say no, not every girl doesn't deserve a good man. Then what are the qualifications? What do you think? Like, what should a woman do in order to qualify to be able to deserve a good man? But that's my question. Does every woman deserve a good man?
Yeah. To answer your question, yeah, I do think every woman in this world does deserve a good man, because oftentimes it could either be from like past childhood trauma or just like how they were raised, or like their interactions with men might have not always been in ways that they deserve. Like, I feel like every woman does deserve to be treated respectfully and equally by a man that they want. And also going back to the video, I think she posed an interesting question, like, why do we always choose these men, these boys that are toxic? And she was like, oh, because they're interesting and fun. And I think, yeah, sometimes at first that excitement or that kind of behavior tends to maybe excite certain people, and they mistake that as like, oh, it's interesting, it's fun. And it can be, but I feel like once you start making excuses for these men, it can get to a point where you start to question like your decision, like why am I doing this to myself? Like I don't necessarily deserve this. And yeah, I don't think women deserve to be treated in the way that we are treated by men that don't respect us. And I feel like yeah, it's like I think the main reason why we start making excuses for these men is because although the problem may seem small at first, right? Men are always put in positions that benefit them. And that's not the case for women. And so that's why I think we're able to tolerate a lot of things.
When you say men always put themselves in positions that benefit them, and that's not always for women, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like, can you what's a specific situation?
Well, no, just like even like with dating in general, right? There's such a double standard between men and women. Like, oh, like for a man, if he's talking about going on multiple dates with multiple women, he's often applauded and seen as a player. Whereas if I were to go and, you know, tell the exact same thing, like, oh, I'm just single, I'm dating, I'm having a lot of fun, I'm just living my life, dating like multiple men at the same time, I'll be seen in a different light and seen as like a hoe or a slut. And like where's the difference in that? You know what I mean? Like it's the same, like for both sides. Just men are seen differently as women.
No, I totally understand. Because that's one of the things that women do bring up all the time, right? Is why is there a double standard? But the thing is that the reason why there is a double standard is because of the biological differences, because we're different as men and women. If that makes sense.
We're different, but you can't keep using that as an excuse to justify toxic behavior. Like I feel like it's time we put men accountable for their actions and hold them as such. Like we can't, if we keep tolerating shitty behavior, it's just going to keep happening unless we confront the situation. You know what I mean?
Okay, let me ask you this: is there's a standard where the men always have to pay for the date, right? And the women don't pay for the first date, right? So that can be seen as a double standard. Like, why do I have to pay for the first date?
No, it totally is a double standard, even that. Yeah. But yeah.
But the thing is, what I'm saying is like, I know a lot of women will say there's a double standard, but because we're different, right? It's just there's double standards for everything, and that's just reality. That's just life in general. There's always double standards. You know, for a man, for a lot of women, if I try to pursue a woman and go on a date with her, and I tell her, hey, it's I want you to pay for the date, not me, or I want to share the date. I want to share the payment for the first date. A lot of women will be like, oh no, I don't like this, or they won't go on a date with me, or they won't reciprocate with the interest because most women want the man to pay for the date, which is fine for me. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's just I understand because we're different. There's double standards to it, and there's some things that double standards that benefit women. It doesn't benefit men when it comes to the date, right? We have to pay for the date. It is what it is if you want to get attraction with women. But when it comes to the, like I said, the example of the promiscuity, right? If a guy sleeps with a lot of women, he's seen as the player. If a woman sleeps with a lot of guys, he's going to be seen as a hoe. It's just, I mean, and there's just double standards that benefit women. There's double standards that benefit men. That's just the world. What do you think?
It is, yeah, and that's my point exactly. There are these double standards that have existed since before our time, right? Another double standard that is just the way it is like even how us women have to be so cautious sometimes just being by ourselves outside. Like I couldn't go on a run safely. I couldn't go on a run outside at night without having to worry about, oh, I need to tell someone where I'm going to be running, or I have to run at a certain time at a certain day, or I have to keep changing up my running routes because someone could be following me. Like, men don't have to worry about that. They never will have to worry about that.
But then I would say is if there is a war, right? There's a war, the first people that's expected to go to the war and die on the front lines would be men. Right? That's something you wouldn't have to worry about. It happens if there was like a war, there was a draft. You know, like what happens? It was a Vietnam. There was a draft. Every young boy was sent. You know, was sent, and the women wasn't sent. I mean, you don't have to worry about that. So that's what I'm saying. Is like there's double standards to men and women, and for me, it's just like I don't have an issue with it because it's just because we're different as men and women. We have biological roles of things that we're expected to do. So yeah, like what do you think? What do you think about that? Does that make sense, or you know, because
it makes sense. Yeah, but there's a war. Sense. I get what you're saying, but just because these double standards exist doesn't mean that they're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. It's not. I don't see it changing. Like, you know,
I don't see it changing, but like in the case where, like, even with like women and how they'll be treated by men, like, you know, like abusive relationships, it happens, but that doesn't always mean it's supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Like, there are ways to, you know, avoid that.
No, yeah, I mean, if we're talking about abuse, right? If we're talking about abuse, that's. I mean, there's no double standards when it comes to abuse. Like, you know, we're just like when we just talk about like dating, just the double standards in general. It's just there's double standards that benefit men and benefit women. It's just because I think a lot of the double standards come from is because of our biological differences. You know, the reason why a man should be expected to go to war when there's conflict is because, you know, men are, you know, physically bigger, stronger than women. You know, I wouldn't want to send the women to war. For me, like, because it doesn't make sense. Like, she's a weaker sex. Send the men. So I think a lot of the biological the double standards we have comes from our gender roles and our biological differences. And for me, I think there's nothing wrong with that because it's just because we're different as men and women. There's some things that men are expected to do because we're men and should do because we're men, because that's how we're biologically built. And there's some things that women should do and are better at men. So there's some things women can do better than men. There's some things men can do better than women. I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's just because of our biological differences, there's certain roles, certain things that we can do in society that, because of how we're built biologically, that we're better at. That we're better at it than the opposite sex. And I think it's okay. I think it's okay. But I do realize is for a lot of people is when especially for today's relationships, that a lot of times when I do see modern women is they'll complain about a double standard that doesn't benefit them, but then the double standard that does benefit them, they'll be okay with it. So
yeah, I mean, yes, that's true, but also the fact that it even exists is problematic because you can use that, you can justify and say, oh, it's due to like our biological differences. Yes, to a certain extent, because most of the time these double standards exist because they were put into place into society for so long that by men that didn't necessarily view women in an equal light. That's my point.
Well, okay, do you think that I think I would say a lot of the double standard just comes from like, I think like just from like you said, biological differences, like, you know, for the war thing, right? That just makes sense. Like, it's not because like men were just like, you know what, men are better than women. I think just like when everything started, like they just realized, hey, we're just bigger, stronger. It just makes sense, right? When it comes to the date, right? Because we're the ones as men, we have to pursue you, right? So I think it's common sense for guys, like, you know what, since I'm the one pursuing you, and we want to show you commitment, show you that we're serious. That as men, I want to show you like that I can provide for you, I can protect for you, because we're the ones initiating. So that's why I think all these things that all these double standards came from was just from our very biological nature, which, and that still has transcended like over throughout history, thousands of years of evolution. But I think double standards are always going to exist just because we're both. We can't truly be equal because we're different. There's certain things that men can do and there's certain things that women can do. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. I mean, do you like for you, do you like when you go on dates, do you expect the man to pay on the first date?
I never expect the man to pay. I don't believe in that. So I
Okay.
always offer to pay at least my share of the meal.
Okay.
That's how I've always viewed dates
If
in general.
If a guy said that he didn't want to pay, would you see him any different, or would you lose any attraction from him if he didn't want to pay? And say, you know what, I'll take you on a date, but I don't want to pay. Do you pay?
I mean, I'll pay if he's gonna get a second date. I don't know, like it just depends on the situation.
Like, how would you feel initially if a guy was like, you know what, I want you to pay, and would you lose attraction for that guy compared to the guy that, you know what, he'll ask you out and he'll be like, I'll take care of everything, I got you.
I think a guy's financial status, it's not that important. It's obviously important, but like I wouldn't, if I were to base it on if the guy paid or didn't pay, that wouldn't influence my attraction for him.
You wouldn't. I mean, if there were two guys that asked you on a date and one proposed to pay and one didn't propose to pay, which one would you say yes to? And
I'd go to both. Because especially if you're on a first date, you don't really know that much about a person. You're essentially strangers. I think that's why, because I think the second date is more important to me.
Okay, all right, no worries. Do you usually pay for all the dates you've been going so far? Do you usually pay for the dates, or the guys?
No, it's evenly split between us.
Okay.
Yeah, I also think too, if you're the one asking out someone, it's probably a good idea that you at least offer to pay. But
yeah.
That goes for both. That goes for both genders too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, but that's what I'm saying is even so, you said it's a good idea to pay, so that would be that would still be a double standard if you still expect it as a good idea. Right?
Yeah, but that's also for the girl too. If you asked a guy you were interested out on a date, you should at least offer to pay, if not even pay for the whole date, because you're the one asking that person out.
Yeah, but it's just in society, most women will never ask guys out. 99% of the time it's the man. I mean, if you want to compare,
I don't think that's quite necessarily true. I mean, with even today, with just dating apps, right? I've seen both sides do the pursuing, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot of women that do ask guys out, but I'm just saying it's in general, the majority, it's majority of the person that initiates the date or ask ask them out is I would say it would be 99% of it is gonna be the man. And then,
yeah.
And then
what I do have a problem with though, and I just won't tolerate it, is when a guy will ask you out on a date and you say yes and he pays for the whole thing, and then he thinks that you're that I have the obligation to give him something in return. Just because you asked me out on a date, just because you paid for it, doesn't mean I owe you anything. I don't actually owe you anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. All right. No. But you. Okay. I would say that you know why men think like that?
I don't know. I think it probably has to do with the way, their mindset about just pursuing this connection in the first place, because men have a lot of intentions. Some of them are not always good intentions.
Yeah.
For you as the woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel in the stories I've heard, most men that tend to act like that view this connection as something not serious and super short term and only sexual.
Yeah.
And I'm that's the reason why you have these conversations about your intentions, what you want out of this connection. And I think that's so important, and it's to, avoid like any confrontation like that.
Yeah, I would say this, like when it comes to like I guess, like, when it comes to a relationship and pursuing somebody, I think the reason why a lot of men feel like that is just, and like I said, you shouldn't expect sex, right? I don't think you should expect sex, but you should expect some kind of like um some kind of attention or from the woman, right? Because a lot of times there are a lot of guys out there that and there's a lot of girls out there that they go on dates with the intention that they're like they don't want they're just going for the free meal, right? And you've seen this on social media, girls like making fun of men or making videos about this, but there's a lot of women that go out there and then they say yes, but they already made the decision in my mind, like, I don't like this guy at all. I'm just gonna go for a free meal. I'm just gonna take this free meal. I'm gonna waste his time, waste his investment, waste his money, and then dip. Right. So that's why for a lot of guys, especially modern day dating, it's like, okay, the investment I'm gonna put into the date I'm gonna pay for the date. I'm gonna give you my time. I'm gonna take you out. I'm take care of the transportation and the location and the planning of the food of the place we're gonna eat. All I want is like your all I want is your attention and give me some kind of like some kind of emotional or attention to let me know that you're serious, right? Well, it can be sex can be one, or just just have a letting them know, hey, I like you, or responding after the text, after the date, just, hey, thank you so much, I really appreciate everything. So I think I think that because of today's age, a lot of times because people are not communicating no more, they don't, we don't know what the intentions of the other person are. That's why it's gotten to a point for a lot of guys, like, okay, I've been taking these girls out on a date, and none of these girls are giving me sex, or none of these girls give me any kind of sexual or just emotional or any kind of physical attention to me to show me that I'm not wasting my time or not wasting my resources. So I think that's for a lot of guys, that's why they see it that way. So I'm not saying you have to primarily give them sex, but just give them, like, show them whether it's verbally, non-verbally, physically, non-physical, or emotional, to say that, hey, I appreciate your time, appreciate this date, so that way they know that they're not wasting their time. But I do know there's a lot of women out there that just take guys and use their money, take them out shopping and do all this and this and this, but they're having sex with another person, or they're giving their time to another guy and then just using this guy for his time and finances. So
yeah, but then I'll also make that argument that there are a lot of men out here that do take advantage of women and will seduce them, right? Emotionally, physically.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when things start to get at that comfortable stage, that's when men dip out. I'm like, oh, like, I didn't want this. And I'm like, that I have a problem with. Like, and it goes both ways too. Don't get me wrong, it goes both ways. But like, state your intentions in the beginning. Like, it can seem like really intimidating to do that. But like, I feel like within the first 3 dates, you should already know how this connection is gonna go, or where you want it to go, and make it explicitly clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's the problem. Like it's a lot of people know there's a lot of bad people out there. That's the problem. So you have to figure out, you have to filter out who's a good person, who's a bad people, who's the people that show me commitment, who's a person that show me time, show me good time. But I think for both sides, both sides should reciprocate something from the relationship, or from the first date. Like, if a man is investing his time and his finances and resources into the first date, then a woman should invest something, right? And at least.
So it's the first date. I don't really think much of the first date. Yeah.
I'm not saying like give sex, right? But there should be, like, she should let him know, give him something, like whatever it's just, I don't know, it could be just a hug, it could be a kiss, or for a lot of women, they don't do anything for fantasy.
I mean, I believe it shouldn't be physical at all. Like, obviously, right, if you're going on a first date with someone and it's going really well, I don't think either side would want to, like, potentially mess that up by making it awkward physically. So
yeah,
like, I feel like just being on the date itself is giving you're both giving each other time and attention because you both cleared time out of your day to go to that date.
Yeah.
And I think that's enough for the first date. I believe if the first kiss does happen on the first date, it should be consented to on both sides. But yeah. I actually saw this video on TikTok, and it was like someone was saying like, oh, if he's a good guy, like he won't really try to do anything physical with you, or if he like really likes you and respects you, he won't try to do anything physical with you like very early on, and it's because he's probably scared of you and he doesn't want to mess this connection up with you. And I'm like, I find that very true, like for the most part, with like stories I've heard from friends, the guys that do that are respectful and do respect women usually tend to not like be super physical like with the first, I don't know, 3 dates. But yeah, that's different though if it was like a friends with benefits situation and you were only in it just for sexual reasons. That's different. But yeah.
I think one of the problems with modern day dating is it's hard for men to see if a woman is committed, right? Because it's easy for men to show. It's easy for a woman to see that a man is interested because he initiates. If a man initiates, asks you out, willing to take time out of his day, willing to pay his own money, the way we show commitment is very physical. So that's why it's easy. Okay, the guy is serious about me. He's the one that asked me out. He's the one that willing to pay. So you can tell that, okay, this guy's interested. But the problem with a lot of men is, how can we tell if she's interested? Because and that's the problem today is like you go on
just ask, just ask, like, are you into me or are you not into me? That's what you do. It's communication.
I know, but what I'm saying is but like I said, but that's the perfect world. But like I said, a lot of times people don't want to be forward like that. Hey, do you like me? Or
like, I think I have so much frustration with this too, because like when it really comes down to it, right? Problems in relationships, whether they be serious or not super serious or just very early on, they stem to lack of effective communication. And it's really, you just have to talk about it. It can seem scary, but you just have to do it.
Well, the thing is, like, I would say is like, for me, actions mean more than words, right? Because a lot of women would say, "Yeah, I like you," for the purpose of getting a free meal, right? So, like, for a lot, because women would say, men would, like, we all know, men will say anything for sex, but then women will say anything just to get a free meal from a guy, or get some kind of financial resources from a guy. So that's a dilemma for a lot of men, right? How do I know if this woman's really serious? Based, not based on words, but based on actions. For men, you can, based on his actions, if he's willing to pay out his own money, willing to take you out, willing to pay for transportation, based on those actions, you can tell, okay, he's not, okay, he is interested in me in some form, some degree. But then the problem with a lot of men is, how can I tell if this woman is serious or not? Not based on words, because words, we can just say anything we want to say. Actions mean more. So that's why from the male perspective, if that's why a lot of guys like, okay, if she's not willing to show me kind of sexual attention or maybe sexual attention or sex, a lot of guys like, that's how I know for sure she's not wasting my time, because women will only give sexual attention or sex to men that they really, really, really like. If you really, really like a guy, you're going to give sexual energy and attention to him to know that you're physically, sexually attracted to him. But women are not showing you sexual attention, or any kind of sex, or don't want to have sex with you, then for a lot of guys, they're in the dark. So they're like, okay, I don't know if this woman likes me. She likes me a lot. Am I wasting my time? So that's why you see it for a lot of men. That's why I say, like, if that's why they would say, okay, if she's not giving me sex, I'm wasting my time, right? So that's why, because like I said,
I could see that. I'm sorry to interrupt you,
but
go ahead. Like, that's not a very effective way of how to like see things, because you never know, like, if a woman has like past sexual trauma, of course she's not going to open up to you sexually. That's just the case. Like she's not comfortable with you yet to do that. And until you earn her trust and respect, like maybe then she'll think about it.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not saying like we go there and kiss and make out and be like, lovey-dovey and then, hands all over one another per se. All I'm saying is like, when you go with somebody you really, really like, you can tell the physical attraction and somebody likes you, and between a man and a woman, right? You can tell this. So something when you go with a girl you really, really like, she tells you, you can tell that you just feel it. And
and obviously she'll tell you, like she'll make that known. Like women, we're very like when it comes to like claiming like our things, or like people that are like claiming like our energy and love to people we care about, we make that very known. So it's like, if you'll know she likes you if she tells you, and shows you too.
And also I would say is like there's a lot of women out there, modern women out there, that they don't feel entitled to show anything or give anything, reciprocate anything back to the men. So they're in their mind, they're like, okay, he's gonna give me money, he's gonna take me out, he's gonna take me on a date, pay for everything. I'm not entitled to give him anything. I'm not entitled to give him any kind of attention, give him any kind of reciprocation at all. Because sometimes a lot of women, I've seen this with a lot of women, like, and you see on social media trending, they'll be like, you know what, you're the man, you ask me how you pay the date, I shouldn't have to give you anything. And that's why for a lot of men, that's why they think that way, because they do see that there are a lot of women who are very inside. There's some women out there that understand that, reciprocation. Okay, if this guy's willing to take my time out his day, you know what, I should, we have a conversation with him. I should tell him, you know what, you're handsome, I like you, because they want to reciprocate that to him, right? And there's a lot of good women like that, but there's a lot of modern women today that are very entitled, like, they're like, you taking me out, you're not entitled to me to do anything for you, even though that guy is willing to take out time his day to do it, to take you out and pay for you, but they don't feel any kind of responsibility to reciprocate that back to him. And that's why a lot of guys think that way, because they know a lot of women out there. So that's why a lot of guys are like, hey, if you're gonna give me my sex, I'm not even I'm not paying for the date unless you show me that I'm gonna get something out of this. And then so that's why I would say that's why a lot of guys do see it that way. It's just all about reciprocation. That's what I believe. If the man reciprocates, if man's doing this, I do believe for the woman, she should reciprocate it, to make sure that to let the man know that you're not wasting his time, he's not wasting his money, right? Because if the relationship ends, if you guys walk away from it, all the woman did was give up her time, right? And then all the man gave up the time as well, but he also gave up money as well, right? So that's why I think it's important for both sides to show reciprocation. But I do realize there's a lot of modern women today, they don't feel like they have to show him anything at all, or tell him anything to let him know, like, where's this going? I'm serious. I like you. Because in their mind, they're like, no, you came to me. You're not entitled to anything. That's just my experience of what I've seen so far. Yeah. Do you know women like that or no?
I mean, I kind of agree. Because now, right, women, we're in a special place right now where we can really literally do anything we want in terms of like pursuing a career and supporting ourselves. And I think being independent in that way, it makes us realize like, oh, like the people I want in my life are there because I want them to be there, and they add value, right, to my life because I chose them, or like I welcome them into my life in that way. But yeah, I don't think, I mean, just because like for me, like if like I went on a date, if I was still single and I went on a date with a guy and he insisted that he pay for the whole thing, like I would have no problem with that. You asked me out at a date, I found you interesting, let's go on this date. It's really like a no strings attached. It's just a first date. We're just literally meeting each other for the first time. If he, so like some like red flags that I look out for on these dates, right, is if it, like, you, for me, like you have to pay attention to like how much like the guy initiates the conversation and how much of like his answers to your questions are similar to yours. And also like how does he interact with you, like when you I don't know, just like have really deep conversations about like your families or whatever, your jobs. But like if he were to even like make a hint at the end of the date, like kind of insinuating that I owe him something other than my time, that's a big turnoff for me. Like I wouldn't go on a second date, because to me that shows like if he was expecting something physical from me, and this is just the first date, we're literally meeting for the first time, I don't know you yet, we're basically strangers, that's kind of weird that you expect me to do something physical for you. And now we live in COVID times, like there's a thing called personal space, like I don't know you like that, you know what I mean? Yeah.
No, yeah, like I said, you don't have to like I said, it doesn't have to be sex, but I'm just saying is like at least show him some kind of so he can see that you're interested.
I mean, yeah, I can do that verbally, but like also another thing that I think more women should look out for is when they set boundaries, like personal boundaries with like a partner or like a significant other, or even just someone they're dating for the first time. It's really important that you pay attention to how he reacts to those boundaries, because you know, like a good man will respect them no matter what. It's like, yeah.
Well, what
that's
about
how
this?
I feel.
Okay, so since we're in the dating culture of no, because the reason why I think for a lot of men, especially modern day dating, because everybody is just today's modern day dating, everybody's having sex, right? So everybody is having sex today.
Yeah.
Right. So I think for a lot of guys today, because they understand this is the sexual marketplace today, everybody's having sex. And now if I'm with a woman that I know is having sex, or I know that she has a sexual history, or if I'm known that that has had sex on the first date before, and I invest my resources into this woman, and she doesn't want to give up sex for me when I've known that she's done this with other men before, I think for a lot of men, they like, I'm wasting my time. If you're a woman, you're known to have sex, and you've known to have sex on dates, you've known to have sex on the first date also, and you're not willing to do that because that's, unless, like I said, outside of like very traditional women who have morals, have values, they want to wait to get married and lose virginity for the first husband. Like outside of those type of women, I'm just talking about like the average modern day woman today that's sexually active, just having sex with men, and men also just having sex with women. That's why for a lot of guys are looking for sex. If I'm willing to take you out, knowing that I know you, or I've heard that you have had sex with men before, then if I'm going to invest my time into you, then that's why they believe that my expectation for you is to give up sex, because you've done it before with other men, and you've done it before on the first date. So, and if I'm investing time and money, then there should be expectation that you're gonna.
I disagree with that.
Should be sex.
No, a woman's sexual history should have nothing to do with the way you act with her or what you expect of her. That's not fair, because you could turn that around and, like if I knew someone that was a player.
No, I'm not saying she has to do it. I'm saying is a man. I don't see a problem with the man expecting her to have sex with her, but like I said, it's her choice if she wants to, right?
Oh, it's completely her choice. It's entirely her choice.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is but I don't have a problem with men expecting for the woman to have sex, because the women expect the men to pay for everything. So if there's going to be exchange,
I disagree with that viewpoint. Sorry, that's just me though.
No. I understand that. Like we can agree to disagree. But I'm saying is in today's modern day, when everybody's having sex, for a guy, it's like, okay, if he's with a woman that has a lot of sex, and he's investing his time, and you're not willing to have sex with me, and I'm giving my time, and I'm known, and then for me, it's like, is it wise for me to continue to keep taking on a date and not giving me sex? Because if you're not giving me sex to me, then he knows already, like, you're gonna give it to somebody else. If that makes sense. Because if you're not gonna give it to me, you're not gonna stop having sex. You're just still gonna give it to somebody else. So for a lot of guys,
yeah, but then it's also up to you, right? Do you want to keep giving your time to someone that probably doesn't
that's
want
all.
you in that way? It goes both ways.
But that's what I'm saying is like that's why there is that's what I'm saying is like I know you brought up the question, why do men think that they should expect sex from women today's modern day dating? But I'm just explaining that's why. I don't like I said, even if girls today are sexually active, they're having sex with multiple men and they're having sex on the first date, because the guy is investing his financial money into it. I don't think I don't see a problem with him expecting sex. But like I said, if she doesn't want to give it up, then he's probably, I think the best bet to do is just move on to the next person, because there's a lot of women out there that's going to use you for your money. So and then have sex with another man, and then you just end up wasting your money, and then she's not even giving you the sex that you wanted. She's giving it to another guy, so you're losing as a guy. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm just answering. I'm just responding to your when you said like, why do guys expect sex? Because that's the dating culture today. Because everybody, we know.
It outside, is. It just doesn't make it right though, because I feel like that's a very toxic way of how you view these interactions with other people. That's just me.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. Well, like I said, is if the woman says, "Hey, take me out, pay for everything," and I want you to, and of course, for a lot of women, they have different standards of where they want to be taken out, right? So like, they want to go to a nice restaurant, they want to do they want to lavish, they don't want to eat at a taqueria. So these women, sometimes a lot of modern women, they want a nice spot. So for a guy to invest that type of money, a lot of guys, well, all right, if I'm going to do all of this for you, and we live in a dating culture today, and I know you as a woman, you're having sex with multiple guys, then that's why they have the mentality. And if they take you out and do all of this, and they ghost you, and then go with somebody else, the guy's like, wow, I just wasted like $300 for a date. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's why men.
Yeah, but you chose to go on that date in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, it's not entirely on her that you lost. I think the idea of winning and losing is also very toxic. But
that's why a lot of guys is like, you know what? If you're not gonna give me, that's why a lot of guys, you see it nowadays, like a lot of guys like, if you're not giving up sex, I'm not paying for anything. That's why
it's like very fucked up the way that goes, right? Because a lot of men do think of dating like that.
But I would say it is fucked up also if a woman accepts to go on a date with you, already decided in her mind that I'm just wasting this guy's time, and I like, she's wasting her time. She doesn't like you. She's just using you for your money, and she just wants a free meal. So that at the same time, so that's why it goes both sides. So that's why that's fucked up also, right? So that's why I understand for a lot of guys, like if they say, hey, if you don't give me sex, I'm not paying, because they understand there's women out there that like will use you for your money and then they have sex with somebody else. So that's the culture. That's where we have evolved to. That's where we've come to today in modern dating. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah, dating is rough these days. I agree.
Yeah. So that's why I say, is like, I think that's why I always, like, for me, I believe it's reciprocation. Like, if you want to make sure you avoid, both men and women, if you want, from speaking from the man's perspective, if you want to avoid with women that's going to waste your time and waste your resources, and just because, like, because you don't know if she's talking to another guy, the best way for men, I would say, is like, she has to invest to me in some kind of sexual attention, or either we have sex, or let me know sexually that you're interested. Like, because like I said, this is an era now where you don't know, right? Social media, everybody's dating, talking to 5, 10 people, different options. You just don't know. So the best way to go about it is to make sure, as a man, like, how do you really know a girl is really, really interested in you? If 90% of women today in America is sexually active, like, how do you really know?
Yeah, but it just goes back to it, right? I was just saying, you just ask her. Like, you just ask her if she's into you. It's that simple.
But I know, but people can lie though, right?
Yeah, but like, you can tell if someone's gonna be an honest person or not. You just can tell with their energy. Like, you just ask. That's all you have to do. You can't assume, like, oh, just because she's dating, like, going on dates with multiple men, and I'm also on that roster that she's like on going on these dates with, like, you just ask her.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, a lot of people will lie, right? So like those girls that do go on dates and waste your time, they're gonna lie and tell you everything you want. Already in their mind, they already made a preconceived intention decision that I'm just gonna waste this guy's time. This is already she already decided before the day.
Yeah, I mean,
so she's gonna
also
so if you ask her, she's gonna lie to you. Yeah.
Right. I feel like if you know that you're being lied to just based on like interactions and how off, like if you guys text a lot, if the texts aren't coming as frequently, she's probably either getting busy with work or like she's probably going on dates with other people. But it's also up to you whether you want to invest any more of your time into this connection, into building this connection.
Yeah.
And also not, right? It's also on you to want to pursue that or not pursue that.
Yeah. Well, but that's what I'm saying is like, because that's the thing. Like for me, it's just like because of there's so much manipulation, right? Both men and women, right? Both men and women can be manipulated. A lot of people can lie. So you have to go. So we can't go off by words alone because people will lie and tell you everything you want to hear. So the best way to see it is through actions. Like actions means means a lot more than words. So for women, a guy that's willing to take you out and do everything you want for the day, regardless of what restaurant, that shows these guys like he's serious, like he wants to pursue you. And then for guys, like how does he know this woman is serious about me, not wasting my time, not manipulating me, not just telling me I'm the guy of her dreams and everything I want to hear. Well, guys, the way they can know is sexual energy and attention, because women will only show sexual energy and attention to the man they really, really like. If a woman really, really likes you, she'll show you that. She doesn't show you that at all. Well, there's a high probability that you may not be the one, and she may be wasting your time. So it's all about like probabilities. Like what is the highest probability for you to know that you're not wasting your time, especially in this dating world where everybody's sexually active, and then there's a lot of manipulation, there's a lot of lying going around. So that's why for guys, like that's the only way for them to know if a girl is serious is if she's willing to give him sexual attention or energy or sex. That's the only way we can know. Outside of that, if you all go by your words, it's a lie. So the same thing with girls. Like a guy can say anything, but unless he's willing to pay for you, that's how you know for a woman, like, oh, this guy's really serious about you. You can say, yeah, I'll take you out, I'll do it. Unless he does it. Then oh, he has transportation, he planned it out, he's really going to take you to a nice restaurant. Like it's like action. So yeah, like I said, that's just where we have evolved to. So that's why we have got to a point now where guys like, if she's not willing to give me sex, I'm not paying. And for women, they're like, all right, if you're not paying, I'm not willing to give you sex. So when you do finally meet somebody that reciprocates that, then that's like the highest probability that you can tell, okay, she's giving me sexual attention, he's paying for me, we are compatible, we're open, we're transparent. Maybe this is the best chance for me that this is going to lead somewhere. And I think that's just like the hardest part. It's just like how can I filter out the men for guys, how they can filter out the girls that's wasting their time, and then for girls, like how can I filter out the guys that are wasting my time? Yeah.
Also, too, I think not like in addition to like paying attention to like physical energy like that, also just being aware about like how often she's communicating with you or he's communicating with you.
Yeah.
Is also equally as important.
Like compatibility, communication.
And like, are your lifestyles similar, or are they different? So are they so different where you have to put in like extra effort just to see them?
Yeah. No, yeah, I totally understand that, but that's for like the long term. I'm just talking about like just on the first date or 2-3 dates, just to like see, okay, if this person is not wasting my time, right? So I think for girls, if the guy's consistent, always willing to show up on dates to take you out, I think for a lot of girls that shows you that guy is consistent and willing to take you on the dates. Because if a guy doesn't like you, just ghost, right?
Yeah, right? I know that all too well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why when guys keep asking out on dates, they keep taking out on dates, that's a clear indicator that guy is committed. And for guys, like, because how do we know that she's willing to show commitment is when a woman gives me sexual attention and energy or sex. That's how I know that
it's not
if
just
she's
that
committed.
too. I think if she like like initiates the date, that's a good sign. That's usually a good sign that she's like actually genuine about wanting to build a connection with you.
Yeah, that's the good girls, because the good girls will do that, right? The good girls will reciprocate it. So like when you meet women who are the good women, they don't really have to go to like they don't really have to show like go to sex to show reciprocation. The good women will reciprocate it. I enjoyed your time. Can we do it again, right? So can we do it again? So, but the girls is gonna waste your time. They won't do that. They'll just like disappear, and then you have to initiate everything, and then they'll just say yes because like they just want a free meal. And for a lot of guys, they don't understand this. So that's why a lot of guys like.
Yeah, but then I feel like if you're already seeing that type of behavior like build up as a pattern with that girl, like you have the obligation to like just exit out of that situation for yourself, for your own sanity. I think also it's just being aware of like being aware of like any behavior patterns that exist with like that person that you're noticing.
Yeah. Like for me, like I mean, if I take her on a date and she doesn't have to give me like I would be expecting sexual attention and sex, but if there's other ways that good women will show you, like they're like, you know what, they'll plan a date next time. You know what, thank you for taking on a date. And she'll plan a date. For me, I'm like, okay, I guess that you're at least you're reciprocating something, right? But the thing is, if they're not reciprocating anything, then what do you have to go off by? Then the only thing you have to go off by is like sex or sexual attention or anything. Right. So the good woman will reciprocate it in other ways, but like I said, for those women that's gonna waste a man's time, like that's what then you have to fall back to that if they're not showing you any kind of reciprocation at all. Yeah. So it's just it's an interesting dating culture today.
Yeah, very interesting.
All right, so let's go back to the video. And the question was at hand, right? Was like, do all women deserve a good man, right? So, and your answer was yes, right?
Yeah.
All right, and your reasons, and what was your reason why again? Why do all women deserve a good man, regardless of what woman it is?
I think everyone deserves like this goes for both genders, but everyone deserves to have someone in their life that will want to grow with you and will want to like welcome you into their life as well in that way. I feel like regardless of your past dating history or what have you, like that doesn't kind of it shouldn't disqualify you from wanting a relationship like that.
Okay. All right. I now for me personally, like I don't think we are entitled to anything. I don't think we deserve anything unless we work for it, right?
Right.
And one of my favorite quotes is like, you don't get the life that you deserve, you get the life that you work for. So if you deserve quality, then you have to be quality. Like if you deserve something great, then you have to become great, right? So, and that goes for both genders, for men and women. If you want a good woman, then you have to be a good man, right? You have to be a good man. If you deserve the best woman out there that society can offer, then you do deserve to be a great man, right? But then if a woman, the same token, if a woman wants a good, if a woman says that she deserves a good man, then I think she better be a good woman, right?
Right.
And if you're not a good woman, and if you're not the type of woman that men want to wife up, that men want to commit to, then I don't believe you deserve a good man. You deserve all the things, the choices based on the results of the life based on the choices he made. So I know on the video she said the choices in men that she made, a lot of those men weren't showing her any attention and were very toxic. And I know she said that those men made me to become this way. So the way I would see it is like, no, those men didn't make you that way. You chose those men, and whatever happened based on those choices you made happened. And if you didn't like those outcomes from those choices in men, then make a different choice, right? Choose different men. But if you keep going back to the same men that you're always picking, and you're always getting the same circumstances and outcomes, and you're getting hurt by these men all the time, then I wouldn't put the responsibility on the man. I would put the responsibility back on the person. And the same thing goes for men, right? If you're picking these women and these women are draining you and they're not giving you peace and making your life harder, then it's not the woman's fault. It's your fault as a man. You don't want choosing to go pursue these women, right? So that's my thoughts on that. Is
I agree with that for the most part. I also feel like the reason why we choose toxic people to be in our lives, it's not necessarily an active choice, because sometimes it does stem from our like past traumas that we've experienced that we have not yet healed from completely. And they manifest in ways that that we don't expect, such as like choosing toxic people to consistently be in our lives like that. And I also feel like wanting a good relationship and wanting a relationship of quality with a quality person also just comes back to you and how you view your own self, how you have healed from your past traumas, because until you heal from your traumas and confront them, you're not going to attract quality people in your life. That's just how it's going to be. So you have to make that active choice, right, to want to make yourself better, but you also have to know that you're going to be okay regardless if you're in a relationship or not. I feel like that's how you attract good energy, is when you know and you're very secure in your sense of self and being.
And that's why I brought up that video, but that's why I do disagree from what she said, right, that every woman deserves a good man. And that's why I disagree. Every woman deserves a good man that she's willing to work for, right? She's willing to become the type of woman that men want.
Yeah.
Right. And that goes, that I'll reflect that back on men too. Like, if you deserve a good woman as a man, you better be the type of man, that good man that all women want, right? So I do realize for a lot of women out there, they may have trauma, they have issues, and they're behaving in a way that's unattractive to most men, but they still have the mentality that they deserve good men, and that's why I see the disconnect. Because I do it not only from her video, but I've seen it for a lot of women as well. It's like they're behaving in a way that's unattractive for most men, but they still want a good man. And for me, it was like, no, if you're behaving in a way that's unattractive for most men, and you're making poor choices for your life as a woman, then you don't deserve a good man. And that's just the harsh reality. And I see this women, like, that's where self-improvement, right? Self-improvement growth comes from. I think you said that.
Yeah, it goes both ways too.
Well, yeah, of
because
course,
like you
of course.
see that in men a lot. The reason why they choose to be in unfulfilling relationships or stay in relationships for way too long than they needed to last. It's usually because either the guy or the girl or both sides are like experiencing trauma still, and it's manifesting in ways that they can't yet heal from, or they just don't confront it yet because they're not ready to. It definitely goes both ways, because I've seen relationships last way longer than they needed to be, and like on both sides, like after like you ask them like, oh, like do you regret this breakup from happening? Most of the time the question is no, because like it taught me like that I needed to heal, or that I had past traumas that I didn't heal from yet. And also I think a sense of like just being single, being actively single. I think being single is the best time to really work on yourself and find what you want to achieve in life, or what you want to get out of life. And I feel like all people should have that period of where they like want to be single because they want to find themselves. I know I had that period when I was in college. I was intentional about staying single. And it's because I didn't know what I wanted yet, and I used that time to be really selfish for myself. But
let me ask you, what do you think? Because since the video was like, every woman should deserve a good man. What do you like? Let me ask you. I just want to hear your opinion. What do you think? What should women do to deserve a good man? Like,
I think there's nothing wrong with wanting to have a good man in your life, regardless of, that's like for anyone.
because we all know, right? The good men and the good women, they're only attracted to a certain type of individual, right? There's a reason why not. There's a reason
that's
why.
generalizing it a bit, but I guess.
If you want that, I mean, if all the good women and all the good men, they're not just gonna pick the worst quality type of people. There's a specific type of person they're looking for, right? So the question I want to ask you is the good men, right? What are good men looking for in a woman? I want to ask you if what's your answer to that?
What good men are looking for in women, or what women are looking for in good men?
What are men looking for what are good men looking for in a woman?
Well, I wouldn't know because I'm not a man. I'm a woman, so I can only tell you the perspective of what men look for and what we consider a good man.
Okay. All right. Then what's your then what is your answer to what do women look for in a good man?
I think, well, for me, a good man is someone that's really emotionally mature and available.
Mm-hmm.
That's not always the case with men these days.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell pretty early on if they're emotionally available or not based on how they interact with you and the things they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And how men view themselves. Because I've also had interactions with men who are very self-condescending and really are quick to put themselves down, but no, you should want to hype yourself up because you should have a very strong sense of yourself and what you're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for men that are very insecure about themselves tend to go to women to make themselves feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have that woman's attention.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you should want to make your own self feel secure. You don't want to seek validation from anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, that's another trait of a good man is someone who has a very secure sense of self and is confident in that way.
Mm-hmm.
There is a fine line between being confident and being overly confident, to the point of being cocky, which is never really attractive. That has never really been attractive to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Someone who's ambitious, who wants to achieve goals in life is super important.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who has a good relationship with their family or has a very high sense of valuing their family in their life. Also someone who takes care of themselves and wants to take care of themselves in terms of being active and eating healthy. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. I mean, you said a lot of things that I've heard before from a lot of women when it comes to looking for the quality or the good man they want, right? They love their family. A lot of women, they love a family-oriented man. That's very family-oriented. And ambitious was one of them, right? Every woman wants a guy that's ambitious, that's stable financially, and they have a plan for their life. And they're not a bum, basically.
Right, basically, yeah.
You're not a bum.
Basically,
right?
Yeah.
All right. So for all the men out there that they do want to attract a good man, so those are things that a lot of women would say, and then it would be a great idea. It would be a good idea for a lot of men to work on those things for themselves to attract a good woman, right?
Right.
And the reason why I ask you, what do men look for to attract a good? Well, no, what are the things that good men the good men are looking for in a woman? The reason why I brought that up question because I think that's one of the things a modern woman, most modern women today have no idea. And if you ask them, they have no idea, and that's why I think it's important to have a podcast like this for men to speak about it, because I do hear a lot of women acting in certain ways and they have no idea or awareness that the very way they behave is detrimental to attracting a good man. And I would always wonder, I know you said your list, but for most good men, it's pretty simple. They just want, they don't want a woman that's promiscuous. They don't want a hoe. All right. They don't want a woman that's very masculine, acts like a man. Right. They want a very feminine woman. And they're just nurturing, just caring, just friendly. and they want a woman that's doesn't have to, they don't have to compete with, that just want to be submissive to him. So those are usually the things. Those are usually the big, and also women that they don't want women with children. So most guys, they prefer to take care of their own kids.
Mhm.
So those are the qualities that I know for a lot of men, and that's one of the biggest things that we look for. I just want to raise my own kids. I want to be the masculine man in the relationship. I want a feminine woman, and I just don't want my woman to sleep with one other man or have a high body count or be known in the society that you're a hoe. So those are the primary things they look for. And the thing is, like you said, when I asked you the question, you didn't know, but that's not surprising to me, because I asked this to a lot of women, they have no idea, but they behave in a way of all the things I just mentioned. But they're the ones to like complaining or why they're not attracting good men. And I have to explain that to them, like, well, the reason why you're complaining you're not attracting good men because you're too masculine, you're sleeping around all these men, and or you made some poor choices with you before, and you have a child now, and that's why a lot of guys are not coming to your doorstep. What do you think?
I feel like as women, we're in a very unique position to hold both masculine and very feminine energies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because like some women tend to like just really hone into their masculine energy, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
We both have masculine and feminine energy. Men too, we have masculine and feminine traits.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to what we are sexually attracted to and what we look for in a partner, one, we have to be primarily, like a man has a feminine trait, but I'm primarily masculine. Right? So primarily I have masculine traits, but there are certain times I do have feminine traits, right? Same thing with women, right? Women have masculine traits as well, but primary traits of being feminine. So, but usually the type of partners that we seek, we always seek the opposite of who we are. So very masculine men are gonna look for feminine women, and very feminine women are gonna look for a masculine man. I've never heard a woman say, "Oh, I want a very feminine woman." I want a guy that's very feminine, that's very submissive, that's very kind and nurturing. When you ask a woman what they want the big, the strong, the ambitious, the confident, the assertive. That's the type of guys that they want, right? So, that's why the masculinity thing, we both have it, but when it comes to what we look for in a partner, the very masculine men, they're always looking at the feminine woman that's nurturing, caring, and kind. They don't want to date a woman that's very masculine, that acts like a guy, because I'm already a guy myself. I want to date myself. And the same thing with feminine women, like they're already very feminine, they're very kind, nurturing, caring. Like a lot of feminine women say, if I meet a guy that's very more feminine than me, it's unattractive for them. Like I'm already kind, nurturing, caring. I want my man to be strong, confident, and ambitious. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit. What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's one of that's just the one thing I just realized today is from my observation for a lot of women. That's why I brought up that video. Is there's a lot of women out there, modern women. They believe, or they say they deserve a good man, but they don't behave in the way that they don't behave in the ways that good men are attracted to, and they have no idea. They're not aware of the very things of what they're doing, of the very things that these men are looking for. Right. So that's just a disconnect I've just seen. And
well, let me ask you this: do you believe all men deserve good women?
No, I'll the same answer to you.
Yeah.
You only deserve what you're willing to work for. Everything in life, whether it's success, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a healthy body. If you want to be healthy, you're not going to get the body you want. You're going to get the body you work for.
Right.
Same thing with for all the men out there. I tell them, I have friends all the time. They're bums, they're lazy, and they're not doing shit with their life. And I tell them straight up, hey man, you're fat, you're lazy, you're a bum. If you want, and you're complaining about why a lot of these women you're either rejecting you or they're not taking you seriously, it's because you're not acting in a certain way that makes that what these women are looking for. So I tell my friends all the time, like, yeah, stop being lazy, get your fat ass to go to work. Right? If you want, like I said, if you want great things in life, then you have to make great decisions, and you have to become great. So that goes both ways. But the thing is, I know for most men, they already know this information. Like most men, they already know, hey, if you want an attractive woman, then you have to do something with your life, right?
Right.
But for a lot of women, I just noticed that they don't think that way. They just think that I'm pretty, I'm a bad bitch, and they just think that these good men are gonna come to them, and there's no accountability on them to make any necessary improvements in life. Like men know if you're a bum and you're not gonna, like a lot of men and women are not coming your way. I just noticed a lot of women, they don't think that way, and it's surprising to me when I meet those stuff. All right. So yeah, if you guys are watching this right now, drop some comments below. Let me know. We just had some interesting convo right now. We're gonna transition right now into the next video. So this is gonna be a very interesting video because I know you're a fitness trainer. This is a video I saw that was trending on social media, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. I think this is gonna be a really good video. Let me play this video right here real quick, and let me know your thoughts of this video. All right. And it's gonna be my second video. There you go. Have you seen this one?
I haven't.
Okay, all right. All right, so this is the second video. I saw this trending on social media.
I'm sorry, don't leave me. I want you here with me. I know that.
All right, that was a fast one. Yeah.
Oh, that was it?
That was it. It was just this. The video was this girl. She the husband left her because she gained weight, and then I saw this trending on social media. Everybody had their thoughts on it. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think about that video?
I think it's great if she wanted to lose weight. I feel like that breakup probably was very eye-opening to her in a lot of ways. I would hope though that she wasn't always wanting to lose weight to make her ex-husband jealous.
Yeah.
Because in a way, if you think about it, that mindset is not sustainable long term because you're still seeking validation from your ex-husband.
Yes.
Ideally, you would want to make these really healthy changes in your life for yourself and for yourself. Yeah. But I think, I don't know, like if the video was longer and she like explained more of her story and her journey, I would have more thoughts on it. But I don't know, like I have a slight problem with like the way she worded it, like to make him regret. I'm like, he already lost you, dude. Like you shouldn't pay attention to that. Like I feel like that's why, like when breakups happen, you shouldn't want to be friends with your ex. There's no reason to, unless you would want to pursue something like sexual again with them or romantic, right? Yeah. But you should never want to be friends with your ex. You're allowed to be civil. You're allowed to be cordial towards them if you're ever put in a scenario where you're both in the same situation or the same room. But I feel like once that breakup happens, it's happened for a reason, and you shouldn't want to go back to wanting to pursue that relationship.
Yeah, I was just reading one of the comments. One of them said they wanted me to play the video again. So they didn't get to see it. It was too fast. So I'm about to play the video one more time for those that's watching right now. Yeah. Sorry guys, it was only 10 seconds. It wasn't like one of those long videos I usually do. So let me play it one more time with those guys that's watching right now. All right. So this is the video. I'm gonna play it one more time for you guys. All right, ready, go.
I'm sorry, don't leave me. I want you here with me. I know that.
All right, cool. All right, hopefully you guys saw it. I want to make sure you guys get to see it.
That's funny.
All right. No. So yes, I remember when I saw this video trending on social media. When I was reading the comments, a lot of the women were like going hard. We were attacking and shaming the guy. I was like, oh my god, like, why did this guy leave her? That's messed up. That he left her because she got too fat. So
I also think that's very fucked up if that was the only reason why he left her. Like the fuck, like why? Like
all right. So for me, I'm gonna share my opinion, but I'm gonna share from a non-religious, religious view, because for me, I'm very religious, so I do believe in once you're married, then you should be with that person, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, Bob, I'm gonna take that point of view out of it. Just keep it very objective, since we're just talking about modern day dating. But based on my perspective on that, for me, just number one, I would agree with you is like, for her to like, if you knew your weight was a problem, if you knew your weight was a problem, like why did you have to wait? Why did you have to wait till he leaves you to do it just to spite him, right? You weren't doing it for yourself. You made that video and you did that. You lost that weight just to spite him, just to get back at him. Right? You're still thinking about your ex, so that's very toxic.
Right.
You shouldn't have done it because you wanted to prove him wrong. You should have done it for yourself.
Right. Exactly.
For your own happiness. That's number one. And number two, for any relationships, I do believe in like reciprocation. I do believe in doing the things because you want to, because you do it for you, but you do because you want to for the other person to make them happy, right? So if you know your man, because we all know men like men very we care about a woman's body and we want to be sexually attracted to have sex with you, right? So as a woman, if you know that your man likes is very attracted to you and likes your body, and then take care of your health. You don't have to look like a IG model.
Right, exactly.
just take care of your health. Like take care of your health and show self-discipline with yourself. Not only that you love yourself as a woman, but you also you love your man also, that you're gonna do for him as well to make him happy as well. Because that's what relationships about. The fact that she didn't do that at all, for me, it was just like that's just shows her like being lazy. You got complacent in the relationship, right? You didn't put in the work, because that's what relationships are, right? You have to put in this effort, it's sacrifice. Right. You have to put in the work. You can't just say, okay, we're together now, that's it, no more work. Right. No, we don't have to work on the relationship. No, that's not what relationships are. There's a lot of work and sacrifice and effort that goes into it. So that's one of the things I didn't agree with it. I was like, well, I don't think it's the man's fault. I think it's healthy for both sides to have standards, right? And if a woman says, you know what, I want my guy to be ambitious, be confident, and be the provider, then as a man, you should go out there, right? You should go out there to be successful, be ambitious, and be a provider, but not for her, but for you, but because you love her, you want to do that, right? So you shouldn't. And then same thing for a woman. If you're a woman, then your husband's out there, he appreciates your body and he loves you, then you should take care of yourself and your health, not only for yourself, but you do it for the man that you love, because that's something that he appreciates about you.
Right. Yeah.
So, and if you're both in a situation where both parties are reciprocating each other's standards and you both love each other, I think that's the type of relationships that build and also last long term. But when I saw that video, when I saw her, I was like, why did you have to wait till you guys got divorced, or to the point of no return for you to start working? Because I'm pretty sure he didn't just leave, it wasn't like an overnight thing. He was like, you know what, you didn't become fat overnight. That's what I'm saying. All right.
Right. I also think
you gained weight, and over that time, I'm pretty sure the guy was like, hey man, you probably saw the lack of attraction, or you probably had some conversation about, I don't know what really happened behind closed scenes, but she didn't lose that weight like overnight. There was a long period of time, and I'm pretty sure there was a lot of tension in the relationship, and you could have easily fixed that early when you start getting a lot of weight. You know what? I've noticed that we're having issues in the relationship because of this. Let me is my weight, my health. I need to take care of myself first. Let's not get to that point where I'm like, now I'm overweight, now I'm obese, and now it's a really a bigger issue than it was before in the beginning.
Right.
What do you think?
I also feel like I have this feeling that she made that video like that because we don't, unless she comes out and tells us like what actually happened, we don't know. Like the relationship could have already been rocky, like even before the weight gain. Like we wouldn't know. Like I feel like with videos like that are very dramatic, it's there for dramatic effect. It's to get views, it's to get likes, it's to get people to follow this program that you're selling or what have you. So yeah, like, I mean, that goes with everything that you see on social media. Everything is not how it seems, like, when it's put out like that. Even with like Instagram, for example, like your Instagram feed, we curate that whether we realize it or not, and we're usually only sharing our best selves in that. Like, unless you, like, your close friend really know what you were going through, you would have no idea what that person is going through, right? Yeah.
So let me ask you, do you think it's is it wrong for men to expect their woman to like take care of their bodies?
No, because like women should expect the same thing of their men.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Like, I would hope that the person, that whoever you're with, would want to take care of their health, right? Whether it be for aesthetic reasons or not, or like health reasons, right? Because that's the reason how I got into health and fitness in the first place. Like, I don't have the best family history medically, which is part of the reason why I'm so active the way I am and why I pursue the career that I am in. Yeah, it's like I'm going on a tangent here, but like health and fitness, like it's very simple. Like, you just need to take care of yourself. You need to exercise regularly. You need to eat a well-balanced diet. It doesn't have to be complicated, and it shouldn't be, right? That's not to disregard that there is privilege that exists within the field. It is, it's a privilege to even have access to a gym. It's a privilege to even be able to run outside safely. It's a privilege to like grow up playing sports. That's a huge privilege that I wasn't really aware about until recently. And I was like, wow, like not a lot of people grew up like with sports. And I imagine like how my life would have been like if I wasn't put into sports as a young child. Like, my life would have been so different, I feel.
I was just reading the comments for that video. I know a lot of the women on that comments was like, how dare, they were mad at the man, or like, how dare the man leave her because she's fat, or like, they were like trying to shame him, or make him look bad for leaving. And for me, is I don't see a problem, if both people have standards of what they expect from each other, from the relationship, and if one person is not getting what they want, I think it's total normal for both men and women. If the man is not giving what you want, and you're not happy, if the man, you're not getting what they want out of the woman, and for all those women out there that might come for me for saying that. All I'm saying is, like, for women, like, it goes both ways, because I know for women, one thing they care about is a guy's ability to financially be stable, right? So if a guy is stable and all of a sudden he lost his job and he's not making money, he's poor. I've seen it many times, a lot of women just leaving that guy and moving on and finding somebody else because that guy is in a poor financial situation. Right. So like, that's why I don't have a problem. That's why I don't have a problem with the guy for leaving because she got fat, because, like, that I mean, we don't really know what happened behind the scenes, but if there's a standard, of what the other person wants, and that's how you guys met, that's what initiated the attraction and the commitment in the first place. I think it's both responsibility falls on both parties to make sure that you put in the effort and time to meet the standards of the other person, not for them, but for you, because you really love this person, you want to be with this person, so you're willing to put in the work and the time to make sure the relationship lasts. But if it's one-sided, you know what, my guy is working for being the ambitious provider, protector, and I'm not. All he wants from me is just take care of myself, my health, and you're willing to do that. Then I think that's a problem, and it goes both ways for both the men and the woman. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this right now, let me know your thoughts. about the whole situation. If you guys have any experiences or thoughts, what you guys thought. Yeah, I've just seen that. I don't know if you've seen that on social media. I just see a lot of.
I haven't seen that. No.
No, have you seen the one? Have you seen the videos a lot of girls make? Was like because what did somebody post? It said that a lot of girls would say, if you're not willing to accept me at my worst, then you don't deserve my best. Have you heard of that? It's like because
actually, I agree with that though. I agree with that. I strongly believe that, because if you can't, it doesn't even have to do with like physical appearance. Like, it's not realistic to think that we're just going to be happy all the time. It's not. Life has its ups and downs, and if you can't handle me, or you can't support me through when I'm like really going through my lowest, then you don't deserve me at my best, because you weren't able to support me in the ways that I needed you to. And it's not financial. It could be emotional support too, right?
No. I would say for that. No, if there's a difference between life, like when life happens and you happen to fall into a worse situation, right? That's the difference between that and choosing to be at your worst. If that makes sense. So if life happens and then you just happen to gain some weight because you're going through something, and then you gain some weight, that's fine. But then once you've gone through it and you learn from it, and then go back to making the right choices again and get out of it, if that makes sense. So
right.
Life is up and down. The same thing, relationship is up and down. As people, we're not perfect, we're up and down. But once you fall, you should get back up and keep going, but not stay down. So a lot of times, so if you're like I said, if you're at your worst, and if I'm dating you and you're at your worst, all right, I'm there for you. I love you. Let me support you. But if I'm putting all this work to support you, but I've noticed like you're not making any changes to get out of that situation, and you're just putting all that burden on me to carry you in this relationship, then I would understand. Then I would say that it's fine for me to go move somewhere else and go seek somebody that we can support each other. When I fall, you pick me back up. But then once you pick me back up, I'm gonna get back up and keep going, and not continue to give you that burden to carry. Right. So that's why I say with those ladies, I see a lot of women say that. I was like, oh yeah, like there's nothing wrong being at your worst, but don't stay there.
I think that's my point.
Yeah. Because I've seen women like, no, whatever my worst, if I say my worst, I'm like, you should always come. Like, no. Like no. If you choose to stay at your worst for 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I think that's selfish to put all that responsibility on the other person.
Right.
Because I think you should, like, once you go through it and you get back on your feet, then get back to it and move on. So that way you guys can share it.
Right.
But that's my thoughts on that. But let me know what you guys think about it. And I have one last. Let me ask you, what's your question? What's your question? I know you have some questions you wanted to ask. So,
yeah.
This is the time to bring it up.
What are some? I don't know. We kind of already covered it. Not really. But what are some of your green flags that you look for in how like a relationship is going, or like a connection?
Green flags, like
green flags, yeah. Because I feel like we're so quick to talk about like all these red flags, which is important, but like I don't think it's talked about enough, like what we consider green flags.
For me, the green flags I'm looking for in a woman, the biggest thing for me is just as long as she's not a hoe, right? She's not sleeping around a man, giving sexual attention to other men. She's not masculine, right? I'm looking for a very feminine woman, right? That's what most men are looking for. And then number 3, don't have kids. So those are things I look for. And then also, but then we go to the very basic level of the individual. I'm just looking for somebody that we're compatible with, like very compatible. We can have a conversation. Very cooperative, right? Because I do understand that we're gonna have arguments, right? So if we can agree to disagree, that's always the biggest things I look for is how does a person handle conflict when we have disagreements. So when I disagree, can we agree to disagree, or if we're gonna we're the type of people we disagree, then we can figure out a solution, move on, or we're gonna argue for days on something very basic, right? So that's something I really look for: cooperativeness, the way being family oriented woman, right? Does she want a family? Is she wanting to be? Does she care about starting a family? That's something that's important to me. But just just being kind, being nurturing. I mean, it's very basic. You know, I'm not looking for much. It's just, you know, the three biggest things is just not having kids, not being masculine, not being a hoe, but then being very compatible, just being very cooperative, and just, you know, and being nice and being nurturing, and then just being a good human being. You know, besides that, you know, that's the biggest thing. Yeah, that's the green flags. That's the biggest green flags I look for. What's yours? What's yours?
Green flags I look for. This is more like not really traits. Well, I kind of went over that. So like emotionally secure and available, financially stable, takes care of their health, family oriented. Like those are all green flags. Also, I feel like green flags that I look for when like I'm interacting with the guy is like if he's listening to me, like actively listening to me when I'm talking. Does he ask questions about me? Does he genuinely want to get to know about me, or is he just putting up, you know, like a front to just say things that he thinks I want to hear? Because there's a difference.
Yeah. There's
a difference when you're talking with someone and you can tell right away if they're like
they're not being genuine.
Yeah, if they're being genuine or they're just saying shit that they think you'd like to hear.
Yeah.
I feel like most guys feel like they can get away with that and they don't realize how intuitive women are, but we're like pretty fucking observant and intuitive.
I think a lot of guys on the first date, you know, maybe the first couple of dates, a lot of guys are if they're not confident, a lot of guys are so nervous, so they don't want to fuck it up. So they'll just agree to everything you say.
Yeah, that's why I say the second date is so much more important than the first.
Yeah.
Because the first date, you're just like putting a face to the name. Yeah. You're just like exchanging, like, for the most part, like not really deep conversation, depending on how the first date's going. Sometimes you could really be talking about deep stuff if it's going really well. What else? Does he respect my boundaries? If he respects my boundaries, that's a green flag. If he respects my time, like if I happen to cancel on a date last minute, genuinely because like a work thing came up or a family thing came up, like how does he react to that? Is he respectful of it? Also consistent communication is a green flag. If he's not being consistent, don't waste your time. Just cut your losses and leave. Yeah,
that's a big thing. Yeah, consistency. Yeah.
And I feel like with modern dating, right, we have this tendency to, if it's like we're physically attracted to this person, we tend to oversee or like forgive a lot of like small annoyances or just like inconsistencies. But until like a friend points it out to you, like, oh, like he's not reciprocating your energy, maybe you shouldn't put all your eggs in this basket. You know what I mean? That's why dating, like dating, right? You're supposed to go on dates with multiple people until you have that conversation that you're dating exclusively and only each other. You're still single if you choose to be, right? That's how I think.
You think we should go with dates with multiple people at the same time, or just go on dates with multiple people one at a time?
Well, both happen like right now, like in today's dating, right?
No, I'm just saying for you. Like, would you date multiple guys at the same time, or would you date guys one at a time? If that doesn't work, go to the next one, or you just do it all at the same time.
Okay, so in my experience, right, for like dating, like, well, let's just go over this. For dating, right, there's 3 stages usually: talking, dating, and like in a relationship or like a committed committed partnership, if you want to call it that. Dating, right? Or talking is that phase where you had just met, if we're talking about dating apps, or just like not even, if talking is just that stage where you're getting to know each other, you're texting, and you're on the way to dating. So dating would be like you're on that date, you're going on just casual dates with this person. You could be going on casual dates with this person and another person and another person if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what dating is. You're just finding out, you're just learning more about these people, seeing if you're compatible.
Wouldn't that be wasting that person's time? What if like you're going on multiple dates with somebody or with different types of guys, but then one of the guys is like he's giving you the full commitment, but you're still talking to other guys.
It all comes back to like how honest you are with this person and what your intentions are, because men go on multiple dates with multiple women at the same time. It's not just women that do this.
No, yeah. I mean, it goes both ways. All I'm saying is like, would you tell them? Would you tell the guy, hey, I'm not only going to date with you, but I'm also going to date with multiple guys.
I've been very upfront. If they ask me like, oh, are you seeing someone else? I'm always very honest. And if that somehow rubs them off the wrong way, then that's not my problem. It's theirs. That's what dating is. You're going on dates with people. You're meeting new people. There's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't, no one should think bad of you because you're dating.
Well, if you date somebody, shouldn't it be if you're gonna date somebody and especially going to take time out of your day, like that you're interested in this person and not anybody else? Or is that just like too old fashioned for some people?
Well, it's just, it's a little bit old fashioned, but I think with how dating is now in the modern world, that's the norm, is you're going on dates with multiple people, and it's not really judged as often, or it's like not really seen in the wrong light or in a negative light, because that's what it is. Like, yeah. I also guess it depends on like your age too, because for me, I'm 25, like still pretty young. That's just how I know dating to be these days. But if I were to ask someone older than me in their 30s, they'd be like, oh no, it was actually different when I was your age, right? And I wouldn't know. I was very young. Like when they were my age, I was like way younger, so I wasn't dating. But yeah, so you have talking, dating, and then the third stage is like the relationship, or like you have already had that conversation with each other, like, oh, we're dating exclusively. We both want this to work long term. We're in a relationship now. That's it.
Okay.
And I think the issue why most people my age complain that dating is so hard or it's like rough these days is because there's such a disconnect between what the definition is of talking versus dating. Because like there will be some women out here that will say they're in a talking phase with this person for like 4 months. I'm like, have y'all gone on dates? Like, well, yeah. Then you're dating. You just dated that person for however number of months you were seeing them. But yeah. That's my definition of how modern dating is, or like my perspective on how it is. Yeah.
My only problem with that is like, how can you really know somebody if you're not fully committed to give them 100% of your focus, energy, and time? If you're splitting up your energy and time with multiple people, that's just how I see it. Is you won't really be able to not only get to know that person, but also really appreciate that person. Because if you're dating multiple people, then what happens is, whether you're consciously or subconsciously, you may not be aware of it, but you're always comparing all these
right men, yeah that's also true, yeah,
right? So it's gonna be it's not really, for me, it's based on my opinion, it's not a really effective way to really get to know somebody, appreciate them. Because if you date somebody exclusively by themselves, and number one, you get to know them because you're putting their full commitment and energy towards them, and
right.
Also you're not comparing, right? If I'm dating one girl, I'm not going to compare her to the other girls I'm dating at the time, because this is the only one I'm dating. So I don't have the problem comparing, because if you date one guy, then the other guy may be better at, he's more funnier than this guy, then you're gonna like, okay, you're at a standstill. You don't know which one you want. But I think if you just focus on one person, then you get more out of it, and you get to know them better. And then, like I said, it's faster to know, okay, maybe this is not the one for me. I get to move again. You can move on for the next person. I think because I know that's the dating culture today of multiple options and multiple people, but I also see that's one of the problems with modern day dating.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I see that too. Yeah.
Because when I talk to, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's like for myself, right? I've only experienced that once personally, where I was going multiple dates with like 3 guys. It got very exhausting, and like I just made my intentions clear, and like didn't want to pursue anything further. But yeah, it is exhausting. Like getting to know new people is exhausting, and like sharing sharing your life with them is super exhausting. And I would hope that these, like, going on dates with multiple people, for me it only works if like you don't go past like the second or third date, because I think by then you'll have a sense of if you want to even try to pursue anything long term by the third date. That's just me though. Some women really don't know until like X amount of dates or whatever. But I also feel that just comes to show like how deep do you get with this person that you're seeing, and like how comfortable you are with that also depends person to person.
Yeah, and also what happens one of the problems I see it is when you don't fully commit to one person and you're dating multiple and you have multiple options, then what happens is like the first sign of adversity or conflict within the relationship, you're just gonna go because you're just gonna move on. You're gonna take the path of least resistance because there's always something else. But when you make a commitment to somebody, it's like, you're gonna try to work things out, right? Because we all know relationship is up and down. It's not gonna be perfect. But what I've noticed so far with this generation, the modern day dating, is the first sign of the first disagreement, the first argument, the first conflict, or in a relationship, people don't want to work through it anymore. They just run off to the next person. And they seek like the perfect relationship that we see on social media. And then what people don't realize is like, no, there's gonna be arguments. There's gonna be days when you guys disagree and these guys fight. But what makes great relationships is your love with that person, the commitment for that person is gonna be bigger than the argument itself. Even though I might disagree with you, we may try to go each other's throats, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm committed. This is the only person I like. I like this person. I'm committed to this person. I want to figure it out.
Right.
But if you're dating 5 people, and if I'm arguing with you and I hate you, you know what? I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to move on to the next person. And then, but the thing is, if you keep doing that, because every relationship at some point, there's going to be a down. There's going to be some arguments. There's going to be disagreement. There's going to be some adversity. And I think that's one of the things I've noticed today's generation they lack the maturity and persistence to be able to overcome the ups and downs and obstacles in the relationship. They're always seeking like the nice, smooth, easy relationship, which in reality doesn't exist. But if you commit to one person, then you made a full commitment. Whatever happens, we're gonna make it together. And that's how you really see the true character of somebody. It's not through the good times. You really see somebody's true nature and character is how do they respond to you when things go bad. That's when all that facade and all that personality, the persona we put up on the shirt, that goes away. Now you see the true nature of a person. And if somebody's going to be, you know what, we argue with whatever, going through some downs right now, I still like you. That's how you know, okay. But people will only do that if you're fully committed to one person. But you have multiple options. They're not gonna go through that hurdle or that obstacle because they got 2 out of 3 they're talking to 3 other people.
Right. Yeah. So
it's really hard to know the true nature of somebody. That's just my thoughts. My thoughts on that one. So we're gonna react to the last video. So guys that are watching right now, drop some comments below. Let me know. I see some comments right now. Very interesting thoughts and perspectives from you guys. Thank you for sharing. But based on our conversation, thank you for still watching right now, tuning in. And like I said, if you want to show some love and support to my podcast, you love the content, love what I'm doing, please show some love and support. Please drop a super chat with me. Then don't donate to my podcast. all my proceeds are gonna go to getting my podcast studio. So if you love what we're doing, love the convo, love the podcast, drop a super chat, ask me a comment, ask me a question, and I will discuss. I will give a shout out and discuss the comment and the question live on this video. But we're gonna go on to the very last video we're gonna react to, and let me go to it right now, and I'm gonna play it, and then we're gonna see our reactions to it. Let me share my screen. Alrighty. And yeah. All right, we'll get that out. And let's wait the last video, guys.
I don't want to hear.
All right, have you seen this one?
I don't think so.
All right, this is the last video, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna play it right now.
I don't want to hear why men always have to pay, because women are the prize. I'm not going half. I'm not tipping. I'm not my turn. I'm not your girlfriend, okay? McDonald's don't suffice for me no more. I'm grown. I'm grown.
All right.
Wait, can I watch that again?
You wanna watch that again?
Yeah.
All right.
I was like kind of distracted by like how aggressive or like just like how like in your face her energy was, and I was like kind of taken aback by it.
Remember we had a convo about why men expect sex? Because like there's a woman out there that they'll take you on a date and expect you to give you everything and give you nothing.
Yeah.
This is the type of what we're talking about right now. But let me play it again. I'll play it again one more time. All right. Share screen. Right.
I don't want to hear why men always have to pay, because women are the prize. I'm not going half. I'm not tipping. I'm not my turn. I'm not your girlfriend, okay? McDonald's don't suffice for me no more. I'm grown. I'm grown.
All right.
I love that.
If you're grown, then yeah, grown meal. All right, but yeah, let me know your thoughts. So just that was the whole convo why we had that convo before in the podcast. Like, why do men expect sex? Is because of women like this essential entitlement that this man is going out his way to do this for you, but she doesn't feel any kind of any feelings of reciprocity to reciprocate that back. At least show appreciation. Hey, this guy's going to take his time and resources to me. At least do something, but she just expects it out of entitlement. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. What do you thought about that video?
Well, her sentiment of like women were the prize, I fully agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Because for me, right, a way to be more or a way to build your self-confidence as a woman is if you reframe the narrative, right? Like, am I good enough for him? No, you're good enough as is. Like, you don't have to change anything about yourself for this person to care about you. You should view it as, it's a privilege for him to even know me. That's how I frame like all my interactions with men. Because I am secure in myself to know that I really don't need a man in my life. Like, I'm self-sufficient. Like, I can take care of myself. I can provide for myself financially, and I'm doing it. The reason why he should think that it's a privilege to know me is because I am the one welcoming him into my life. I don't need him, but I want him. You know what I mean? There's a difference between needing someone and wanting someone. And the person you should be with should want you too, with that same intensity. Like, you shouldn't ever rely on a person for like financial need or like anything like that. You shouldn't be self-reliant. You shouldn't be reliant to another person, because that just gives your power away to that person, right? It makes you feel indebted to them, and you shouldn't ever feel like that.
Yeah. Okay. And so did you feel like that she had like a sense of entitlement to like just expect that out of these guys and
well, I feel like the reason why most of us have taught ourselves to think like that is, one, to gain more confidence, but two, also to tolerate less shitty behavior in our lives from men that don't deserve us. Yeah, because like for a long time, like, and even still, like, men get away with a lot of shit, and us women just have the tendency to tolerate it. either because we mistake that attention as love and like validation, or for another reason. But yeah, like the idea, like, you know, like the idea of like, not the idea, but like self-love is just having enough love and respect for yourself to like accept yourself like at your best times, and then even at your worst times too. I kind of went on in a tangent, but yeah,
No.
like I agree with her video. I don't think she comes off as entitled. It's more just like she's super confident in how she is and how she wants to be treated, and she's just making that known. To whether the guy thinks she's entitled, that's his opinion, but I don't think she thinks she's entitled. She probably just thinks she's super confident and being a bad bitch, which I have no problem with.
You think the way you think like the way she portrayed and the way her tone and her energy and her how she said that, you think that's not entitlement?
No, it's not. It's more, if anything, it's more just like her believing in her own self-confidence, because for a long time, like especially with like insecurities and like with self-image, like we tend to put a lot of that validation on another person. This is the opposite of that. She's validating her own self, her own experience, her own identity, and she's obviously quite proud of that with like the energy that she showed in the video.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I mean, for me, I just the way I saw it was like demanding things, right? Very demanding things out of somebody. And I think for both men and women, like we're not entitled to anybody. We're not entitled for a woman to give her my time. I'm not entitled to give my time to a certain woman.
Right, exactly.
Everything must be earned, right?
Right.
And the way how she said it was like, was like, don't completely. Men should always pay no matter what. And what I'm saying is, no, men should pay for the woman that reciprocates his time and energy and has earned his ability to take care of her, right? He's not just gonna do it for every single girl. I think that's why I saw the video. I was like, oh, this girl is very entitled because she just wants every man to do it regardless of how she behaves and acts. So even if she acts that way or says, I'm grown to that man, then she still expects that man to like reciprocate and take care of her. But like, if I'm a man, like you telling me I should do this because I have to. And regardless of, I don't even know you yet. We haven't even got a chance to get to know each other or to that extent or that level. But you're telling me what I should do as a man? I'm like, nah, that's just entitlement. If you want to earn how I treat you, is just reciprocate that.
Right.
And the last thing I would say that like that video, right? Let me ask you. She said that the women are the prize, right?
Yeah.
You think women are the prize?
I think historically a lot of the actions of men have been influenced or driven by women.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a bar, when two guys fight, it's usually over a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like too, like when men who are attracted to women, right, heterosexual men, I feel like sometimes if they're making improvements in their life, and if the reason isn't solely just for themselves, it's probably because they want to please a woman that they really are interested in. And I also think too, like there's this saying that women run the world. I think we do actually, but the ways in which we're portrayed in society and how we're treated, and it can be seen in a lot of ways with like the gender gap, the gender wage gap. There's a difference in that, right?
You think that there's a gender gap, wage gap?
Oh, there definitely is, and it's due to the fact that it's become so taboo. I think the only reason why there is this wage gap between sexes is because as women we're taught to not talk about how much we earn at our job.
Yeah.
But who taught us that? It's the people in charge that taught us to do that. That taught us like, oh, that's taboo, and it's usually the people in charge are heterosexual white men.
Yeah.
That are only there, that only put that rule in place is to prevent us from moving up in the corporate ladder.
But you do know, I don't know if you know, but you do know like the gender wage gap. it's been proven that it's been proven by evidence that it's a myth. It doesn't exist.
It's a myth and it doesn't exist, but like why are there continually stories coming out of like women saying have seen evidence that they're getting paid less than their male counterparts?
So the reason why what a lot of these women are, the reason why they formed that conclusion from is like pretty much what they did was they took all the amount of money of what women earn and they compare it to men, right? The total amount, right? And they divide it by the average. So of course, if you do that, of course the numbers will always reflect that men make more money than women based on the dollar amount, right? I don't know exactly, but it was like for every dollar a man makes, there's it's not the same, right? But the thing is, they never take in consideration the type of how many hours women work compared to men, the type of jobs they pick compared to men, and those are the reasons why men make more money today, and that's why that gender gap doesn't exist, because the top 10 professions in the world or career choices that men, the top 10 highest earning professions and careers that men in the world is all dominated by men, because men choose to go in those professions. The top 10 least paying professions and careers in the world, industries in the world, are dominated by women, because women choose to go in those professions. So if you choose to go in professions that don't pay a lot of more money, and men choose to go in professions that make more money, so it's always going to be, so men are always going to make more money than the men. The average of how much we make compared to the dollar amount is always going to be different. And of course, men, we work longer hours, because women, you guys get pregnant, so you guys have to take pregnancy.
But that's my point exactly, though.
Yeah.
Like when women get pregnant, we're punished for it. You could take this into the case of track athlete Allison Felix. When she got pregnant, Nike dropped her. They actually cut her pay by 70%.
But the thing, it's not about being punished. That's how business works. It's like how many hours you're willing to work compared to the other person. So if I'm a man and I'm working more hours than you and I'm putting more sacrifice than you, then naturally you should earn more money than the person that's not putting as much hours, regardless of what the reason is.
No, but that's my point exactly, is like that's how business is.
Yeah.
It's usually because people in those positions of power that run those businesses, there's a very disproportionate amount of men in those positions and women in those positions. That's the reason why it is.
Well, the reason why those men in the positions, because men choose to go in those professions. Because like the professions of CEO or the most dangerous jobs, the most high-paying jobs, men choose to go in those professions. Since most men choose those professions, that's why there's most men become CEOs. That's why you don't see a lot of.
That's true to a certain extent, but I don't think it's fair that you could use that as the only justification.
Well, it is.
There are women in those positions of power. It's just the opportunity for more women to be in those positions of power is limited, because there are still those men in power that don't want to see that.
Well, the thing is, you can't be in power as a woman in those positions if you don't choose to go into that career path. You don't choose to go into that opportunity.
No, but I'm saying there are women that choose to go into that, and
that's the thing, not a lot.
I know, but that's what I'm getting to, is the reason why it's not a lot of women is because historically, right? As young women, we're not really exposed to I don't think most of us know, we're allowed to even do that. Yes, of course you're allowed to do that. It's just the amount of mentorship or opportunity is just different.
Well, back in the day, before the 60s, but that's no excuse now, because we all have the same opportunities and equal choices as far as career choices. Also, right now, like in America, women graduate on a higher percentage than men. So you guys are the ones dominating the universities, and you guys are the ones graduating more than high school, getting a diploma, and you guys are the ones that actually have a better college degree than men. But
that's what I'm saying. And the reason why there's still not more of us there is because the men in positions of power have been there for so long and are still in those positions of power. That's why there's that disproportionate amount.
But those guys get replaced. CEOs get replaced all the time, because if a CEO doesn't perform, he gets replaced, and then the guy that's next in line is most likely going to be a man, because the men choose to go in those professions. So even like I said, even with the women you guys are more educated now than men. You guys have all the degrees, but you guys still choose to go into professions that pay less money, because you guys are you guys like social work around people. Men, we're different. We don't like social work. We don't like people who are interested in things.
I that's true. I'm sure that's true to a certain extent, but I don't think that's the only reason why there's that difference still exists. It's a lot of reasons, actually.
Well, it makes sense, right? If you're choosing to go, if most women are choosing to go into professions that don't pay a lot of money, then, like I said, it's common sense. And men are choosing to go into professions that pay more money. Then that's why men make more money than women. It has nothing to do with the system, whether there's a system to suppress women or there's like a patriarchy. It's like trying to make women. There's a gender gap myth. No, it's just you guys choose to go into professions that make less money. You guys don't work as hard, and no, it's hard. You guys don't work the same amount of hours that men work to, but men choose to do that. That's why the men make more money. It has nothing to do with the gender gap, or there's a myth of like women being suppressed, because in modern times you guys have the same opportunity. We have the same career choices. You guys can go any career choice you guys want. You guys graduate at a higher rate in high school and in college, but then you guys still choose to go into professions that pay less money.
But I think it's unfair to say that that's the only reason. The systems that are in place today are still suppressing women.
Like how?
That's my point.
Like how are they suppressing women? Like, because you guys
we don't even have paid maternity leave. Like, that's not a thing in the US, and it's like we'd be such a better society with it. I mean, when women get pregnant, why are we still, like, not expected to come back to work? Like, what if we really do want to work? That's like also valid.
Yeah, but if you choose not to work, then if you choose not to come back to work and the man keeps working, that's why the guy makes more money. If you choose not to work and you choose not to come back to work and the guy keeps going and he's keep working, that's why that guy makes more money than the woman.
Yeah, but there's still a gender gap, or there's still a wage gap that exists with gender and also with ethnicity too. There's research on it.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that's why it's not based. So the reason why women don't make as much money as men, it's not based on gender. It's based on their choices and the type of jobs they select, how many work hours they're willing to sacrifice in. That's why it's not because they're a woman. It's because they choose based on their choices and what type of jobs they want to go into.
I mean, yeah, but like there's still, a lot of, it's not based on choices, it's also based on opportunity. And I don't think we have equal opportunity as men.
In 2021, in American modern societies, you don't say women have the same opportunities as men? Opportunities?
If we do have equal opportunity, we have to work twice as hard to even be recognized for such achievements.
What is the job right now in America that the women don't get the same opportunity as men, and they have to work twice as hard, get the same amount of money as men? Like, do you have an example of that job or that profession?
Well, you could take the case of like just like even in higher education for like positions that are really high up, like in terms of tenureship, if you're a professor or if like you're in research, usually it's faster, or like it's easier for men to make more, to get promoted more quickly than women.
Which profession?
In higher education.
Like professors?
Yeah, like professors, like to gain tenureship or like even be promoted like that as a professor. Like obviously you would need like a doctorate degree and like have extensive background in doing research. But yeah, I think my main point is that women have to work twice as hard to even be recognized for their achievements.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, I mean, that's your standpoint, but I'm just saying, if you look at the data, it's just, men work longer hours and work more hours than women. And then if you're like, if you're a business, if you're just looking at things based on strictly business, like if you have a business and if somebody's working more hours than somebody else, it's more, the other person is more deserving. If I'm a business owner and then one person is working more hours than the other person, like I think that, like I said, like that person deserves to make more money because he's putting more work and bringing more production to my company. My company's growing and being more productive because this person is bringing in more business because he's working harder. So if you, as a business, you will give that money to that person, not based because that person is working less hours. Because if they're working less hours, they're gonna be less productive. So you would give the whatever if a woman's making working longer hours than men, yeah, then the woman makes more money. But if the men's but on average the men work longer, because like the women have to they go to pregnancy, and then after pregnancy, a lot of the women they stop coming to work. They want to be housewives. They want to take care of the children. So they stop working, so they don't. So, but if they
that's not necessarily the case, though. It's not necessarily the case that they don't want to come back. It's probably because they don't have the resources for, childcare.
Well, but like I said,
be able to come back to work.
Yeah, but that's a personal choice. That's a personal problem. If you don't have that has nothing to do with the gender gap. Is like if you don't want to keep working, then that's your choice, whatever the reason is. The guys that keep working, the people that choose to keep working, because we all have a life, we all go through our own stuff in life, but the people that keep working harder and working long hours, they get paid more. The people that stop working for whatever reason, they don't get paid. That's just the way it is. And then on average, the men the men are the one working harder. I'm not working harder, working longer. And then the women, and then they choose the more dangerous jobs, the more high earning jobs. They make more money. So, yeah. But yeah, live up with that. But yeah, let me know, everybody that's watching, let me know your thoughts, thoughts to it. But yeah, we have come to the end of the podcast, guys. I see a lot of your comments. Thank you so much for your feedback. Oh man, they were joining on the conversation that me and you had. Everybody was sending their thoughts. So but yeah, real quick. So Samantha, I'm sorry, not Samantha. It's okay. Yeah. I was thinking about your Instagram name. So Sam, yeah, let me know. Now we've come to the end. Thank you so much for joining me on this conversation. We had some good combos. We talked about a lot of things. A lot of people tuned in. Let me ask you real quick. I always ask this to every single guest. What do you think? What did you think about the podcast tonight, and what did you take away from it?
I think the idea of the podcast is really cool. I think it's really important to talk about modern dating in general. I think there's a lot of talk about it, but it's mostly like not super constructive conversations that happen around it. And I think that needs to happen more. And I think this podcast is a great way to kind of achieve that. But yeah.
No worries. Before we conclude the podcast, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to Mason is a God. He just gave me a $9.99 super chat donation. Shout out to you, Mason is a God. I just saw you drop the super chat. Thank you so much for your donation and donating to my podcast. Much love to you. Thank you so much. But yes, yeah, everybody, if you've come to the end conclusion of the podcast, I just want to say thank you again to Sam for jumping on the podcast. And we had some great combos, and we talked about a lot of things. That's why I usually have 4 people on the panel, and we go back and forth. But since it's only me and you, we actually got a lot of conversation.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
we covered a lot of topics compared to 4 people. So everybody that's watching, right? Thank you so much. I would definitely drop Sam's social media info below on this video. Definitely support her, follow her on all the platforms she's doing. If you want to lose some weight and you're in the Bay Area, definitely hit up Sam.
Thank you.
She's doing a lot of great work with the fitness industry. Sam, real quick, how do they find you? Anybody that's watching right now, they want to follow you, how do they find you?
So on all, I think you can find me usually on Instagram at Sam Homosmos. I'm pretty active on there. I'm also pretty active on TikTok as well. Same name, same username.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, yeah, definitely follow her. Definitely check it out. She's doing great things, especially when it comes to the fitness industry. She could definitely help out you guys with that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do this every single Saturday. And everybody that's watching right now, I'll see you guys next Saturday.